what has this club become? Real Madrid versus Barcelona. This was a time where Barcelona had the opportunity to do something historic, win El Clásico and win the league that same night. Something that had never been done before, not by Real Madrid, not by Barcelona in the 100-year war that we've had against each other. But they were able to achieve it, and we quite literally turned around and let them bum us. Embarrassing performance by Real Madrid. Now, there's a lot that happened way before the ball was even kicked. We had lost the game, honestly. There was fights, there was leaks, there was a whole scandal. It looks like a Kim Kardashian show with the amount of drama that is being spilled. But let's go ahead and start with the off-the-pitch stuff first. The biggest being, of course, the fight between Valverde and Tchouaméni. The first day, I don't know when it was, I think it was a Tuesday. I woke up, there was a small altercation, but that's part of the game. The leaker was just leaking a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I heard there was a small altercation going on. And then the next day, same thing. There was a small fight. I thought it was a repost, right? Because the first one said it was everything resolved and everything. And then you start seeing Madrid's zone. The Valverde apparently just did not accept the apology from Tchouaméni because it seemed like Tchouaméni gave a hard tackle. And Valverde was not having that. And he was furious. And then eventually there was maybe punches being thrown. The point is Valverde ended up splitting his head open and having some crazy traumatic head injury. I was just, what is going, this was not real, right? Because yes, Florentino had a press conference and stuff and he said these are normal. I'm sure it's normal, man. Everyone's played in a team. If you've played soccer, you've played in a team. Things get heated and sometimes there's punches being thrown. That's simply just things that happen. But I'd never seen this as far as I remember, apart from like in game when they're throwing punches at, then I think it was like Everton or something in the Ndidi throwing punches towards, I don't even know who it was. But other than that, like this bad in the locker room, I had never seen a leak of this magnitude. And precisely with Real Madrid right before such an important match against Barcelona. Now, based on what the story that is known, it seems like Valverde is the one that started. He's the captain and he did not want to accept the apology from Tchouaméni. Apparently in that earlier session, Valverde just started going in on Tchouaméni, trying to injure him pretty much. And the same thing happened the next day in the training ground. On top of that, he didn't accept Tchouaméni's apology, even though he is the captain. He is supposed to be the man who stops fights, the man who does not get involved with fights and is able to accept an apology. Yet he displayed horrendous character as a captain. And I've said this, I don't know if I've said this in the channel, but I've said this before, that I don't see Valverde as a captain. We saw it. He just doesn't. He's a great fighter on the pitch, but he's simply not a good captain. You need to have some stability and emotional awareness to not take that anger against your own teammates, which is exactly what Valverde did. For now, I just think Valverde might not be playing anymore for Real Madrid. Well, he's not going to be playing anymore because he's injured, right? But he's not going to be playing ever. He's never going to be seen in a white Real Madrid kit ever again. Or who knows, maybe Florentino lets this slide, but at minimum, this guy cannot be the captain of Real Madrid. And Tchouaméni, on the other hand, there's leaks to him leaving to potentially Manchester United, leaving to the Premier League. They're kind of intensifying. And I think, me personally, I'd be open with it. I think Tchouaméni has been an incredible player, but I think we might be missing a different profile of a DM than him. But I'll dive deeper into what I think that should happen in this midfield. For now, that fight was absolutely horrendous. And yeah, it landed Valverde in the hospital. And then there were reports, well, actually there weren't reports. It was confirmed that Rudiger was over here slapping Alvaro Carreras. But to be fair, there's been an issue. It seems like Rudiger was frustrated with the lack of commitment displayed by Alvaro Carreras, which is completely reasonable, something that we've seen, something that's kind of been confirmed with Alvaro Carreras staying on the bench, laughing when like a sarcastic laugh when his teammate's injured, and they put in another player that's not him, which was Fran Carreras at the time. They put Fran Carreras, and he kind of laughs ironically. Bro, first, who is Alvaro Carreras in this team yet, bro? This guy should not be a starter. Um, and he's starting to behave like he's got any sort of power, bro. He is a nobody in the grand scheme of things with Real Madrid. He is an absolute nobody. But Rudiger, there's been history of this guy slapping up people. We saw, what, a year or two ago, where Rudiger was slapping up a man, a coaching staff. Why is he doing that? This guy should have been out of the club for a mile, man. Yes, last year I think he was our best defender, but regardless, it doesn't excuse slapping up a staff member. That's absolutely ridiculous. And lastly, Kylian Mbappe. As we know, Kylian Mbappe had gone out with an injury, and it was reported that he was going to be ruled out for the rest of the season, kind of to save himself for the World Cup. But there's nothing else to lose in the round in the squad. We've called Vinicius Jr. to make this team his own, and yeah, he kind of stepped up to the side. But then in El Clásico, he said, "Oh, I'm ready to play." But Arbeloa, rightfully so, he was like, "You know what? Let's not risk you. We'll kind of bring you as a super sub. We'll start Gonzalo Garcia." And 5 minutes before the end of practice, this guy decides, "Oh yeah, I'm injured, so I'm not even gonna be able to go into the game." Come on, let's be honest. This guy was trying to get away with his. He was butthurt, and we can't let this keep going, man. This guy is a cancer to any sport. Either a manager comes in or Florentino comes in and puts a stop to his behavior, or sell him. One of the two. One of the two. We can't let this guy continue to be acting like he quite literally owns a Real Madrid club. And just to top it all off, it was also reported that the squad was divided within groups. Groups of Spaniards who believed that Arbeloa was not picking them because of the prize value, or were pissed, for the example of Dani Carvajal and Dani Ceballos, who one of those are going to be leaks, and both of those are absolutely toxic. But this whole team is toxic. And then you had the French group with the Mbappes, probably Tchouaméni, Camavinga, that group. And then you had the Vinny group, the people who believe that Vinny should be the one getting followed. And in the middle, you had Alvaro Arbeloa, who was an absolute cone of a manager, doing absolutely nothing to alleviate any of the stress in this team, kind of depending on Florentino to do all the work. And I'm not excusing Florentino, by the way. As I said, I'm going to make a deeper video on the problems of Real Madrid, the whole season of Real Madrid. And those were the issues coming into the El Clásico. While on Barcelona's side, the only injuries you had, it was Lamine Yamal, of course, Rafinha coming back from injury. But basically, they were making fun of us. They were pretending like they were in a mid-fight. It was an absolute embarrassment coming into this El Clásico match. Now, diving into the actual game itself, we land up with a 4-4-2. Asensio starting over Dean Huijsen. We have Fran Garcia starting over the injured Ferland Mendy, over the childlike mentality Alvaro Carreras. It was honestly a major surprise to see Tchouaméni starting, but I think that kind of lets us believe to who was actually at fault, even though, of course, Valverde wasn't able to play because he was injured. Along with a pairing of Camavinga, Jude on the left, Brahim on the right, and up top, Gonzalo Garcia and Vinicius Jr. And this was an opportunity for Vinicius Jr. to prove that he was the man for the job, that he continues to be the man of the job, because I think he's proved that he's given us 2 Champions League. But to prove it, to continue proving it, and why we should continue picking him over somebody like Mbappe, because he had been playing good. He played incredible games against Espanyol. So it was all to play for Vinicius Jr. And quite frankly, this was an abhorred game from the Real Madrid squad. You could tell that we weren't playing for nothing. And you know what? A lot of people are going to say, "Bro, what do you expect this Real Madrid to play for, bro? There's nothing to play for." You play for pride, bro. They were going to do this. People know, bro, you can't tell me that these guys didn't know that, oh, Barcelona could beat us and be the first team ever in the El Clásico match to crown themselves in one of these matches. And yet they went out like flipping bums, bro. Absolute bums, bro. I didn't even know we were capable of playing this ass cheeks, bro. We played with absolutely no urgency. We went 2-0 down. We could have gone 3, 4, 5-0 down. And boom, just continue playing like nothing. Like we're not chasing a result, bro. It was horrendously bad, man. And on top of that, let's add flame to the fire. Mbappe, the cancer of a player, the fluff Oh my gosh, I can't even. The cancer of a player, Kylian Mbappe, post a story mid-game, 2-0 down, a la Madrid, trying to put a point. This guy's a cancer to the team. I don't know how people back this guy. I don't care how good he is. I don't care how many goals he scores. I don't care how bad Vinicius is. This guy, like it or not, he has to go, bro. And in my opinion, he needs to freaking leave because I don't see any manager, I don't see any Florentino Perez intervention doing anything to stop this Kylian Mbappe rampage that he's been going on. And on the other side, you got Vinicius Jr., man. I've backed this guy up until that Arsenal game last year where I basically saw the same performance that I saw here. Of Vinicius Jr. that seemed like, I don't even know, bro. This guy seemed like he was not wanting to win, not wanting to play. I don't care what state of mind you are. You're getting paid millions. You've been playing well. It's not like you're going to pull a Rodrigo where you don't even play at all and come in and is expected to play well. No, you've been playing well. You played good against Espanyol. You did some incredible golazos. You could have been on a hat trick. And you come to the Camp Nou. You come to the fucking Camp Nou and play like you play like you belong here already, bro. You play like you've earned it, right? And if you would have played well, it would have shut down the Vinny or Mbappe debate completely, man. But you played like an absolute bum, bro. You weren't tracking back. You weren't pressing it out. You saw Gonzalo Garcia, one of the goals that they scored, and Vinny Jr. should have been pressing on that. And bro just jogs to it, and we get played completely around. And they end up scoring. This guy, bro, he's got to go out, man. It's been 2 years to this. 2 fucking years of him being a bum. And this was his opportunity to cement himself. The tides are going against Mbappe. Everyone's going up against Mbappe. And you've been playing well. And you play like this. You don't even try, man. There was multiple opportunities where Brahim Diaz or Trent or somebody was able to find Vinicius Jr. He could do a one-on-one. He could run in with the ball. He could take a shot. Bro would do the dumbest, worst decisions. Not even take a one-on-one pass it back. Moving like Saka the whole entire game, bro. This guy was horrendous against Barcelona. This was your opportunity to cement yourself into this team. And I think they should both go. I think they should both go. I have no doubt that they're both incredible players, but the egos on these guys, look, Ronaldo, if you gave him the opportunity to be the main man, he was going to take it. Same thing with Gareth Bale. Same thing with Benzema. These players, bro, these players that were hungry to continue winning, you just gave Vinicius Jr. opportunity to take over a game, to repeat what he did in the first game against Barcelona, and he completely fluffed it. He didn't even do anything. Brahim Diaz looked better than him. By that means, the team should be built around Brahim Diaz. And Jude Bellingham showed up as well. But Vinny, I was really wanting to back you, bro. But you go ahead and play like an absolute bum, Vinny. I kind of already spoiled what I want to do with Vinny Jr. and Mbappe. But, gosh, it's actually infuriating rethinking this match. It was so horrendous, man. Yes, Gonzalo Garcia missed a couple chances, but at the end of the day, the biggest blame that you have to put is Florentino Perez, who came out just yesterday, and everybody thought he was either gonna leave being the president of Real Madrid, or he was going to give explanation as to the situation of the club. No. He deflected all criticism, started calling for elections, giving 15 days for people to do a campaign to try and get him off. The point is, bro, Florentino, you clearly know what you're doing or have known what you're doing, but you've chosen once again to do the Galacticos route, man. This has never worked. It has never, ever worked. And you chose it again. You chose the stupidest decision to buy Mbappe instead of building an actual good team when you had Vinicius Jr., the best winger in the world. This is all on Florentino, at least the majority of the issues are on Florentino. He enabled player power. He took out Xabi Alonso because of the player power, and he chose to go over the superstar route over the functional route. This team, at least this season, these past 2 seasons, it's time to bury it, truly bury it. There needs to be a clean house, and this game couldn't have defined better who should go and who should stay. As I said, I'll make a video after this. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed. I've cooled myself down a bit. Before y'all leave, I want to remind y'all that I am back. School just ended, so I'm gonna have a lot more time to make videos and stuff. Going back hard at it. Of course, there's a lot to talk about in the Champions League, the Mexican national team. Of course, the World Cup is coming up, and I want to do, as I said, real life football videos, and who knows, maybe video game streaming. But stay tuned for that. And we've been very active over in the Beyond the Full-Time podcast. Go ahead and follow that. The link should be in the description as well. You can go ahead and click that. We have episodes coming out every weekend. So go ahead and contact us and interact with us over there. I'm continuing to stay active. We've been consistent over there. But yeah, see y'all next time.